the capital of Syria and Damascus, we are continuing to deliver the news. On one hand, after the collapse of the regime, right now in the last day specifically, the life is back to normal in 2 days. The last 2 days, the education has started. The children can go their schools and they can get their education. And here in Damascus, it's a primary school. In the morning, the children came here in their hands, the new and free Syrian flag, as you can see, and they are in this spot. They get their freedom. They are joyful, as you can see. They're playing in the schoolyard, and after the liberation of Syria, they're coming to the education, for education, with their flags. As you can see, all the students, they're getting their education. They continue to get their lessons, and on this point, we are in the center of Damascus. Of course, here for students, there is a problem, and the problem is that here, you can see the cuteness of these children. Their families were facing the oppression under the Assad regime. They were living under the regime, but today, right now, they're free and they will freely live. They are luckier than older children. They only witnessed it for their ages, but there is a problem in all the schools. This is the capital, Damascus. The children, they started for their educations, they continue, but there are no food. The problem is that there are no food. All these heaters they are working with fuels, but because they don't have any fuel, the children, they have their coats on themselves, and it makes it even harder for children for their education. But we need time for these problems to solve. But we need to say this, there were no electricity or fuel at the time of regime as well. The people and their problem was the same. It was the electricity and no fuel, nothing to burn, and the problems of food. All these problems right now, for years, they have been facing these problems. Right now, the children, it's the heart of Damascus. We are in the center of Damascus, and in the primary school in the center, the education, it continues in harsh times. But it's not only for this place, it's all the same for all the schools. Let's look at the other classrooms. The education is continuing here. The children, they started their education in their school. And this is a primary school. Yes, you can see all the students here as well. As you can see, they started their education on one hand. They learned their lessons, as you can see, the books and everything. Actually, for days, the schools were closed. The opposition and the groups, anti-regime groups, collapsing the regime. After that, the education and the school started for the last 2 days. Specifically, today is the second day of the education, and it started yesterday, and today it continues. The students are coming in the morning to their schools. The teachers are also coming to the school, and they continue to get their education. And you can see in this classroom there are no electricity nor fuel for the heater. They are facing some problems. The weather is actually so cold. Because of this, they are facing some problems in this harsh conditions. They are looking to us, the children. Yes, as you can see, the children, each one of them, they are tiny little children. Of course, we are seeing the high schools, the children, they are more joyful. They are celebrating their freedom. As I can see, the children are playing in the schoolyard with balloons in their hands and the new Syrian flag in their hands, roaming around in the graveyard in the morning in this spot. with the new Syrian flags and also painting on their face. As you can see, each one of them has the flags on their face. Are you Turkish? Yes. Yes, I'm from Turkey. How are you? Do you know Turkish? How are you? I'm good. How are you? Yes, you can see each one of them and their faces with the paintings. They're celebrating their freedom. And today, for the last 2 days, their education, it started, and it's a historical day. It started yesterday and today it continues because they can come to their schools. It's the second day as freely. As you can see, all these students every day, on one hand they're playing in the schoolyard, on the other hand they're celebrating their freedoms and the collapse of the regime. Their parents, their families are also happy. You can all see them, and with their flags, the new Syrian flags, they're coming to the school and they're leaving the school just like this. Each one of them, the little children, but of course getting their education in harsh circumstances. Some do not have coats, but some have coats. Some do not have shoes. But of course, they are facing some problems in this context. They don't have any fuel for their heaters and no electricity in school, and they create problems for these schools. But of course, some aiding organization at First Turkey, they continue to deliver the support and aid to this part, to Syria, Afad, just like Afad, the IHH from Turkey, they are supporting Syria. They're delivering the aids. As you can see, the children in the schools, the education has started for 2 days. Of course, let's say we will continue.
Affan. Şuvay.
Each one of them, little children. Wave to camera, children. Each one of them is saying my love. Thank you. Wave to the camera.
Yalla bye bye.
Say bye. Yes, in conclusion, the life is back to normal in Damascus. The education has started. The children is continuing to get their education in their school, and the teachers are together with their students. They're giving their lessons. On one hand, the education actions not only in primary school but in high school. In a lot of spots, it continues. As you can see in schools, after collapsing of the regime, they're celebrating it, and they're happy just like their families. And I'm leaving the word once again to the center.